I was only 16, but I remember it like it was yesterday. My father was standing at the end of the hallway with his piece in his hand pointed towards me. I closed my eyes in fear and started shaking uncontrollably. His voice from down the hall became closer and closer until I realized he was right next to me. He was pointing it right in front of my head. When I was a child, my mom was never really around. And anytime she was around, it always led to her arguing with me and making me feel unwanted. I would always give my mother the benefit of the doubt because she didn't know how to be a mother herself. Her mother, my grandmother, whom I've never met, would mistreat her and make her sleep outside. She put her in a foster care because she simply did not want her around anymore. I lived with my dad up until I was 16. He was so protective of me, he never let me leave the house. He even put me in online homeschool so I wasn't able to go anywhere or see anyone. I had no phone, no social media, and no friends for as long as I can remember. Sometimes I would sneak onto his computer just to be able to get on and chat with people so I didn't feel so lonely. I was able to make one friend who was a female. She was kind of in the same boat as me, so we really hit it off. I became a lot sneakier and would end up sneaking out during the day after he would leave for work. I wanted human connection. I was so tired of growing up in this bubble and being closed off from the rest of the world. One day, I got a message from this guy who I knew through a mutual friend. He wanted me to sneak out at night and come hang out at a party. I struggled to make a decision to go because I did not have a key to get back into the house. Still, I snuck out that night. I crawled through my very small basement window and left. I wasn't able to get a ride home till it was the next morning. I was praying so hard my father would be asleep still, and I could easily walk through the front door without being noticed. But I was wrong. As soon as I opened the door, my father leaped up and got really mad at me. He dragged me across the house by my hair and was socking me in the face. He did it so much that my lip got busted and my face was swollen at several places. He walked away into his room, leaving me on the carpet in the middle of the living room. Okay, I thought to myself, he's done now. I got what I deserved. But little did I know, that's when he grabbed his piece and walked down the hallway pointing it at me. It was right now next to my head. I kept my eyes closed and mumbled in desperation. I'm so sorry, Dad. Please, I am so sorry. I should just pull it right now so you don't cause any more issues in this world, he said. Then he picked me up and started socking me some more. Everything went black. A year later, I turned 17 and living at my mother's house. It was awful. I was in a public school because she couldn't afford the fees for online education. She wanted to put me in a foster system so she wouldn't have me around being a burden. She kicked me out of the house and changed the locks. Then she called me in as a runaway. I wanted to leave this world. I started using my arm as a cutting board and even took random pills from the medicine cabinet hoping I'd fall asleep and never wake up again. At this lowest point in my life, when everything around me had crumbled, I didn't feel like moving forward any longer. But then, I met someone. He was so subtle and humble, I could tell he had a good heart. So many coincidences led us to be together. We were born in the same year and in the same hospital 6 days apart. Our teeth were crooked in the same pattern. His family came from the same city as mine. His siblings are twins, and their names are the same names as my parents. I even grew up with his childhood best friend, but we had no clue about each other. I felt like I was this plant that had been neglected and was in the shallow hole. He picked me up, repotted me, and gave me the nutrients I needed to grow. He saved my life. He helped me. He understood that I battled with this darkness inside my head. I have nightmares and wake up in distress. Anytime I see a piece, I get scared and seize up. My head gets extremely foggy. When the darkness takes over, I'm sitting in a cold blackness of nothing. I can hear him next to me, but I can't see him. It's going going to be okay. I'm here. You're okay. Listen to my voice and come back to me. Then, when he kisses my forehead and pulled me into his arms, it's like if every kiss there was a little soldier to fight off the darkness so I can escape and see the light again. He saved me. I'm alive today because he cared for me. We've been together for 5 years now. We have a house, a beautiful daughter, and 3 dogs. I couldn't be happier. I still have a lot of bad days because of what I went through, but I'm lucky the universe gave me someone strong enough to help me through this. Without him, I wouldn't be standing here today. My fiancé saved my life, and during my healing process, I even learned to forgive my father. We were able to move forward, and 5 years later, he's now a great-grandfather to our daughter.